Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Detroit Red Wings franchise mode here in NHL 21. So in last episode, we had the draft and re-sign stage, and we picked up a new player who looks like he's going to be a pretty good playmaker for us in Brett Reardon. So we do have some young talent at least jumping into our roster, and I think our team is starting to trend in the right directions in terms of like player development. The only thing I don't really like is a lot of our guys like Matthews, for example, and whatnot are getting older, so we might see some random decline from our top players, but hopefully our younger players like Belanger, for example, could take over for Matthews as he declines, and hopefully this team could still make it back to the playoffs again in the next few seasons, hopefully this season. But right now we have some pretty good development still from like Isaac Dika and stuff like that, so I'm pretty excited to see how this team assimilates this upcoming season. And yeah, so pretty much this is the guy we drafted in last episode, Brett Reardon. We got him at 6th overall. Luckily for us, Calgary took a high top 4 defenseman with the 5th overall pick, and we landed this guy, so I'm hoping that he could help us out offensively a lot this upcoming season. But yeah, pretty much that's that. Also, we did let go of a longtime Detroit Red Wing player, Jose Stewart, because he didn't really fit onto our defensive core anymore, and obviously I didn't want to really scratch Stapleton when he's making like 5.9 still for 2 years. So basically we let him go after all these years, and now our defensive core looks like this going into next season. Obviously Orr is going to be our depth defenseman, but Rodriguez should be jumping into the lineup, and that way we have 3 left-handed defensemen and 3 right-handed, so that's pretty good. We do still need to sign a backup goalie in this episode, so we'll probably do that. But I was thinking about maybe bringing in a pretty good like forward or something for this team, because just to give us a little bit more of an edge. But I don't really know if I should, because next offseason we do got some big contracts up for renewal, like Matthews. Biggs is up also for renewal. Belanger, Powell. Like each of those guys are going to be demanding over $5 million, I'm pretty sure. So it's going to be probably an expensive offseason next year. So I don't really know if it is worth bringing in a player. Maybe we could bring him in on a 1-year deal if we wanted to, because we got 24 million in cap space now. Last year we had like only 11 million, but since we let go of Stewart, we saved a lot of cap, I think. Like if we go to our forward core right now, let's say, so we got 1, 2, and then Dika on our top line. Okay, these 2 on the second line. That's not too bad actually for a top 6. I'm trying to see where we're a little bit weak, but I don't think we're really that weak anywhere. Like, how much players does it have over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So basically all these guys would be in our system. So Lutzer and Blum would be depth options, which I'm not opposed to that, because those guys both are 25 now, so they're probably not going to develop much more. Yeah, I think our roster is almost set. It's just more about picking up a backup goalie. So I don't think I'm going to actually sign maybe any forwards and just see how the team simulates. But we also need to pick up some coaches. So let's pick up an associate coach first, because we do need to have an associate and an assistant coach. And then also we do need to sign more scouts probably, because at the moment we do not have an OHL or a WHL scout. And I think that's probably all we need. So let's actually do that right now before we get into the coaches. So we need one for the OHL and WHL, and then I think that's probably all we'll sign. So is this guy an A+ in the OHL? No, he's an A. This guy's an A+, so we'll sign him up. We don't actually have a lot of budget left for these scouts. So, and we need a WHL one. Is this guy an A+? No, he's not. There we go, there's an A+, Greg Bass. Bring him in. And there is our scout signings. Now let's get to the coaching signings, because we do need, like I said, to pick up an associate and an assistant behind Corvo. We don't have a lot of money, unfortunately. We only have like 2.4 something in terms of being able to sign a coach. So let's go to NHL assistant. See what we could get here. Anybody with some good scheme fit type of things. 54 is not too bad. And this guy uses Belanger and Matthews really well. He might be our best option. Oh, there's this one as well. It utilizes Dika and Belanger pretty good. Yeah, you know what? We're going to go with this dude, Michael Letang. as our assistant coach. Give him a tiny bit more as well to accept that, because he should accept, I would assume. So that's as our assistant coach. Then we need an associate coach. And let's take a look at scheme fit again. Not that I don't think it really matters for the assistants and the associates, but we do want to get somebody decent enough. 51%. That guy's good on defensive coaching, which might not be bad to have. So you know what, we'll bring this guy in, and we'll give him a little bit more as well. And we should be able to get those two coaches in, unless they for some reason want to go to a different team. But there we go. That's on that front. Now we just need a backup goalie to sign in free agency behind Stevenson, which there was a goalie that intrigued me, because we did let go of Turnstrom just to like kind of see if there's new goalies out there that might be better. And this Rizzy guy, he only wants 1 year at $1 million. He's a 25-year-old medium elite goalie. Obviously, he hasn't reached his potential, but he could still be a solid option behind Stevenson. So we'll sign him up on a 1-year deal at $1 million if he wants to come to this team. And he actually has not that bad of stats the last few years. Like, he came off a .914 save percentage in Tampa, but then again, Tampa was a lot better of a team. But he still looks like he could be a good career goalie. So we'll bring him in as our backup goalie and see how he does. And hopefully he could get this team to being maybe a playoff team this upcoming season. So I think that's the only signing we're going to make, because I don't think we really need to bring in any forwards with the guys like Sandlack and whatnot being decent enough in the AHL. So let's advance a few days and see if we get those coaches and if we get Sandlack. So we do get, I think that's one of the scouts. Yeah, it's a scout. And we do get that other scout as, or no, that's the assistant coach. Nice, okay. It's hard to remember who's from what. But hopefully Biggs' money goes down a lot. Bass also accepts for scouts, not coaches. Just waiting on a couple more signings. So O'Sullivan is rejected. Doesn't feel he matches the quality. I'll try and give him a little bit more to get him to accept. But yeah, we'll try and offer him a little bit more. And Rizzy decides to go to the LA Kings. God damn it. I didn't see any other interest in him. So we do not get Rizzy. That blows. Let's go back to UFAs. I didn't even know another team was interested in him. Also, maybe would have given him a little bit more than $1 million. But that gives us options like Rabbit. How good is Rabbit in terms of his career numbers? 901 save percentage isn't terrible, but a 312 goals against. He's won a lot more games than lost. Maybe I would bring him in, but his playoff numbers aren't actually that bad. He's got a winning record in the playoffs. But it could be because he played with the Islanders. We could also bring in Bourret, who literally, last time we played in the playoffs, he was the backup goalie for the Rangers. You know what? I think that's not a bad option. We'll give Bourret a contract, and I will give him a 1-year deal just to play it safe. Because I think I'll just give him a 1-year deal and give him $3 million just to get him to accept. We have enough cap space anyways, and then we need to still get back that other coach. Let me just make sure those scouts are assigned to the right areas, which they should be. Yep, they are. Okay, good. Our scouts are set and ready to go. Oh man, I could have went to the coaches on that. Oh well. Okay, so we still need, that associate coach. We still got a lot of money to get an associate coach. So let's go to NHL associate, and let's pick one up. Or pick that guy up if we could find him again. I don't even remember what his name was now, though. Oh, it was O'Sullivan, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was this O'Sullivan dude. Yep. So we'll just basically give him a little bit more money to get him to accept. And he probably will accept that, I think. Because he just didn't really like the quality of our roster, but we could try and force him to accept with more money. Let's see if he will accept that. And then we will make a jump cut to next season with like our lines and stuff like that. And he's still going to reject. That is interesting that he's rejecting. And are you kidding me, Bourret? Oh my god. What are these AI teams taking these goalies from me? Maybe I should have just given him what he wanted as well. Okay, I really got to find a goalie, because eventually we're just going to get stuck with a bad backup. But maybe a bad backup will simulate better. Who knows? Oh, well, I found my backup. I found my backup. I didn't even see him here, but Rohan House, after 8 years, has become a free agent. He's now listed as a backup goalie. He's an 81 overall. He played in Anaheim for the last few seasons, but they played him in the AHL briefly last year. But we know all about him. He's got over 500 career wins now. We got to bring back Rohan for one last ride, and he could retire with the Detroit Red Wings. I'll give him like 2.25, trying to get him to accept, because I really want him just back to retire with his club. The only thing is, it sucks that we don't have Jose Stewart because Jose Stewart's like the last remaining teammate of his, maybe. No, maybe Biggs played with him. I don't remember even. But we need to bring back Rohan House. No question about it. If I would have saw him earlier, I would have offered him a contract already, but I didn't see him. But it's kind of weird that he played in the AHL, but it's good to see that he's got over 500 career wins already. So I guess we'll go for maybe a different associate coach, because this one other guy seems to be a little bit stubborn. Yet he's still a free agent. Was there any other 51 scheme fits? If there's a 50, yeah, we'll probably go for the 50, I guess. And this guy wants a little bit more, but that's okay. We'll just give him that. See if he'll accept as our associate coach. And then our coaching staff will be set for next season. So let's advance a few more days and see if we get that coach. And he apparently doesn't want it either. Okay, so I guess we're not going to pick up an associate coach, because a lot of them seem to want, for some reason, to be with a contending team and stuff like that. But I'm going to make a jump cut to next season with our edited lines, and we will see how we simulate. So I'll see you guys in a second. Actually, I forgot about the Rohan House for a second, but Rohan House is accepted, so it's good to see that he is coming back. Okay, guys, so our roster looks pretty good for the most part. So we got Dika, Matthews, and Dingman. Dika should get a lot of goals this year playing with Matthews and Dingman, I hope, and hopefully he gets some good development. Second line, Savonin, Belanger, and Garrison. Obviously, Savonen's dropped off a lot in overall, but he could still probably pick up a decent amount of goals considering he had 31 last year. So I'm expecting him to maybe hit 30 again this year, but he will continue to probably drop off. Third line, Alexandrov, Pau, and Cialfito. It seems like Alexandrov has some morale problems, but I am still going to play him. And yeah, hopefully that doesn't affect that line too much. But if need be, we could always get rid of Alexandrov and play somebody else. And then fourth line has Schumacher, Wisnowski, and Reardon. So I don't mind this line at all either. Wisnowski obviously puts up a decent amount of points when he's in the lineup. Reardon in his first NHL season. And Schumacher as well, who's in his second season, I think now. Yeah, second season. And in our defensive core, we got Hardikainen and Sampson, Rodriguez, and Biggs. So Biggs has dropped down to an 82 and a top 6 defenseman. So he might end up retiring at 34 years old. Who knows? But yeah, his scheme fit has dropped off a lot as well for our coach. So he's not as good of a player as he used to be for this team. And in our top 6 has Lilia and Stapleton. Now, these two guys are probably going to lose a little bit more morale because of ice time, but I did try and give them some penalty kill time, so that should boost them up a little bit. But both of them didn't get top 4 time last time, and they kind of complained about it, so we might have to readjust this a bit. Yeah, I don't really know what we could do, but we need to get them more ice time at some point. So maybe I should actually put them on the top penalty kill unit, both of them together, which I think I'm going to do. Even though Samson's an 88, it's just more because I want those guys not to complain, because if they start complaining, that might drag down the team a bit. So yeah, that's that. And then in terms of our goaltending, we still got Stevenson and House dropped down to a 79, exact backup minor starting goalie, but we're still going to be playing him as our backup this year because obviously he was with us for so many years, and then we eventually flipped him away. We flipped him away, and then he went on to win a couple cups with Anaheim, and he's been a phenomenal goalie ever since. Still 510 career wins, and he's getting to wrap up his career with the team he started with. And then our depth-wise, we got Samlak, Lutzer, and Angelo Brewer is also going to be a depth defenseman for us, because for some reason Orr dropped down to a 74. I don't know if it's morale-related or what, but yeah, basically that's that. And this is what the AHL team looks like. Not going to show you it in depth, but this is basically how it's set up. It doesn't have the greatest chemistry, but I don't really care, to be honest. So there you go. Let's take a look and see how our team simulates. Actually, let me take a look at who's set as the captain. Savonin, Dingman, and Biggs. Okay, yeah, Biggs is the captain. Makes sense. It's kind of weird, though, that they gave Savonin a letter instead of Matthews. So I'm going to assign that to Savonin and give it to Matthews, because Matthews has been here his entire career, and he definitely deserves a letter more than somebody like Savonin, even though Savonin scored a lot of goals. So there we go, and we are good to go. We have poor team chemistry, but hopefully that gets better throughout the season. We are listed as a buyer according to this, but it could be because I went into the trade deadline last year as a buyer. Or what is the coaching? What is like the goals for this upcoming season? I didn't take a look at that. So yeah, those are we're probably more of like not a contender, but like more of a rebuilder or whatever it's called now. But anyways, let's get through this preseason, and then we'll probably simulate a few months just to see how this team is. Hopefully this team starts off this year better than last year. Last year we had a really good preseason, but the season obviously was not good. So, but if there's a franchise level player in the draft again, that would be nice. But that would be the third straight year. I'm pretty sure that would happen. Okay, so 3-4 in the preseason, not too bad. And 5 goals in 7 games for Savonin. So Savonin's still scoring at will in the preseason, which is nice. Hopefully he could score a decent amount of goals this regular season. And I'm expecting some big things from Isaac Dika this year, because he's scored like 27 goals or so the last few seasons. I'm really hoping that he could get to like maybe 30 or 40 this year, because if he could score a lot of goals, maybe that will help our team into getting into a playoff situation. But it's probably going to be pretty tough to get into the playoffs. So let's sim up to our first game of the season. See what we're listed as. Are we still listed as a buyer, or does it even change? Yeah, we're still listed as a buyer, which is interesting. Okay, let's do 1 month at a time. See how we do in this first month of action. We have a lot of games, actually, this first month. We got 10 games. Well, actually, I think it's usually around that much, but still, we got 4 in the first week of action, and all of them have like a day in between. So hopefully our boys don't get too tired, but let's see how they do in the first month of action. We lose the first game in a shootout, but we bounce back with a couple wins and more shootout losses. So this is actually a way better start than I expected, but obviously, okay, yeah, now it's going to fall off. I knew it was eventually going to, but then we bounced back with 2 wins, and we're 5-3-2 in our first 10 games, so not too bad, actually. It's better than I expected, and Garrison is like literally lighting it up. 16 points in 10 games. So it looks like the second line must be doing a lot of good offense, which means Savonin must be scoring a lot of goals too. But yeah, that's a really good start for the team. Much better than I expected. Hopefully we can keep that up all season long. Hopefully it's not like we're going to have a good first half and then fall off. But hopefully this team can be consistent and win games, because I think we do have the type of roster that could win games. Like if we look at the overall ratings, we're only pretty much really weak on our wings. Like if we could upgrade like Alexandrov, that would be nice. Because I know Wisnowski could put up points if he's given more ice time, but there's not really anywhere I could slot him in, unless I decide to put Schumacher as a center and move Alexandrov down to the 4th line. But right now, he's got 4 assists in 10 games, so I'm going to leave that. Dika's playing really good. Our top line is scoring, that's great. Our second line is scoring as well. Savonin's already got 6 goals in 10 games. So, yeah, that's pretty good. Maybe I should give Reardon some power play time. But I don't know who I would take out if I was to do that. So it looks like maybe our power play unit's been really good. But I think maybe I'll just leave Reardon down there. I could always flip him around in the lineup, but obviously I want this guy to kind of marinate his way into our lineup. Apparently he's the best fit on our top line, which is interesting. How about our defense? Any interesting things? Everybody's plus, that's good. How about goalie-wise? Rohan House has been terrible so far, but Stevenson's off to a great start. Okay. So that's not too bad. Brewer's actually at 76, damn. Yeah, our depth isn't that great either. Like, we could probably upgrade our depth if we wanted to and try and upgrade maybe our bottom 6 a little bit if we want to actually get into the playoffs. But our team's off to a good start. Let's see how we do in this month of November. We'll go halfway through it just to kind of take it a little bit slower. We start off with a loss and another loss, and then there's a win and a loss. We're still winning more games than I expected to start the season. 9-7-2. Like, it's not anything fancy, but it's a lot better of a start than last year. Because last year at this time, we would have been like, I don't even remember what our record was at this stage. But yeah, we did not start last season off good, and we didn't end it off well either, for that matter. There's a loss against Toronto, and Hardikainen's been injured with an abdominal strain. That's not good, but it's, I don't think, that long term, right? Yeah, it's only out for a few days. So let's go replace player. We're losing games now, but there's a win, and there's another win, okay. I feel like the morale is going to go back up with this team a little bit, which is good. Yeah, it looks like the morale is going back up because guys like Lilly and Stapleton are back to their normal overalls, which I like to see. Okay, so 11-11-3 kind of dropped off a little bit near the end of that month, but I mean, we're still hovering right around 500, so we must be doing something good. Dika's over point per game this year so far, which is awesome to see. He's only got 13 goals in 25 games, but still he's over point per game, which is the first time he's been that way in his entire career, I'm pretty sure. So that is good. Let's do another month, I think. Actually, we'll go right up to the halfway point like we normally do to game 41 of the season. But let's do another month. Actually, maybe I'll make some line adjustments. Maybe I won't. Yeah, we're not far out of it. I won't make any line adjustments. But hopefully this team could get well above 500 this month. Not that I expected to happen, but let's see. So let's go to the 15th of December 1st. See how we do to start. We start off with a couple shootout wins. Game against Buffalo is another win. Okay, yeah, this team is really turning it around all of a sudden. We literally just won somehow 7 games in a row. Wow. Must be because Rohan House has returned to the team. I don't know. But this team is doing way better than I expected to, especially after last year. Huh. Let's do another half of this month. We lose, we win, we win. We've only lost one game this entire month so far, which is phenomenal. But I really didn't expect it. Seal Fido's been injured, but it's not too long term. We'll go replace player. And there's 2 losses at the end of the month. We are 22-14-3 at January the 1st. And how much games have we played? Have we played 38? Yeah, 39. So we got 2 more games to simulate through. So we get right at the halfway point of the season. So let's do up to the 6th so we could get our guy back in the lineup. And we lose 1 and we win 1. So Seal Fido is back. But yeah, this team is actually doing way better than I expected. I don't know if it's because we picked up like an assistant coach or what. But 23-15-3. That's a major improvement from last season. Dika's over point per game again still. He's got 21 goals so far as well. We are in the first wildcard spot. It is actually a pretty tight race in the playoffs too. But this is a very good start, and I hope that this team can continue that next episode as well. Let's take a look at our player stats so far for the season and the team stats just to see what we've been doing bad at so we can maybe address it for next episode. So player stat wise, let's go do centers. So Matthews has got 37 points in 41 games. He's been great. That's good to see because his contract is up for renewal. So maybe we should already give him his extension. But I don't really know at what age he's going to retire, and I don't want to overpay him is the only problem. Yeah, I might give him like a 3-year deal or something like that. I don't know. Boulanger, 27 points. He has only got 2 goals, but he's a pure playmaker. So Pau, 21 points is pretty solid. Schumacher, 15 points. And Wisnowski, 10 points on that 4th line. You love to see that. So it seems like our offense has been pretty good in terms of depth scoring. And then Dika's over point per game. And okay, that's the reason why we're doing good. So Vonanen has decided to wake up again. He had 30 goals last year, but all of a sudden he picks up 29 goals in 41 games, and he's on pace for like over 50 goals, and he's 38 years old. So that's why I said Savonin bringing him back would be a good idea, because once he gets going and if he starts scoring a lot of goals, our team can win games, and Dika's also scoring too. So between the 2 of these guys, if we didn't have either of them, I think we wouldn't be in the playoff situation. Sandlak, 2 assists in 3 games. That's pretty good. Garrison, 42 points in 41 games. It's a really good year for Garrison. I'm glad I locked him down for the rest of the series, I think. Demon, 32 points is pretty good. 20 points for Alexandrov. That's a big year from him so far. Ciofio, 18 points is pretty good as well. And Reardon has 12 points. So good job on the points rookie. He's playing on like the 4th line. And he's getting some good points. Yeah, our team is looking a lot better. Maybe it's also the addition of a youngster like Brett Reardon. But this team is looking a lot better. Big 17 points is good. Hardikainen 14. Lilia 10. Samson 10. Rodriguez has 5. He's also in his first season, so that's good. 5 from Stapleton. And Brewer has 1 and 3. Goalie-wise, Stevenson has been really good. Okay, so that might be the reason why we're in a playoff situation, is Maximus Stevenson has all of a sudden turned it around and having a phenomenal year. Because last year he really struggled, but this year he's off to a 21-10-3 record. He's already got a .917 save percentage and a 2.59 goals against, which is a career best. So he's having a really good year. Rohan House, on the other hand, as a backup, has been terrible. But he's been terrible, but I mean, I still like bringing back a former player of ours, so that's good to see anyways, and that's that. But I think our team has been doing pretty good. How much minus players do we got? Only like 7, which is not too bad. It's mostly just like depth guys, and then also bottom 6 players I think are actually... Garrison's a -4, even though he's over point per game, which is interesting. Huh. Not too bad. Let's take a look at our team stats just to see what has been going wrong for us so far this year. But right now, this team has definitely turned it around. We are 12th best in the league currently. We're scoring 3.32 goals per game, which is still not phenomenal, but it's right around the mid-table, I would say. Goals against wise, though, we are one of the best defensive teams in the NHL. And yeah, it's probably because of Stevenson, and then I guess our defensive core is doing a lot better than I expected, but we're one of the best defensive teams in the NHL. It sounds so weird because we were one of the worst, I'm pretty sure, last year, right? And then our power play has randomly picked it back up again. Last year it really struggled, but now it's at 26% almost. So yeah, it's definitely improved a lot. Our penalty kill has not really improved that much. Actually, no, it has improved a decent amount, it looks like. Yeah, our penalty kill also has improved. So our special teams have improved. Our defensive play has improved. Our offense not really has improved. Well, maybe a little bit. But actually, no, it has a lot, because I think we were the worst offensive team last year, weren't we? If I'm not mistaken. But I think our team has just in general improved a lot. And it could be because Savonen's all of a sudden scoring a lot of goals. But yeah. This team is looking good so far. I'm really hoping that continues for the next second half of the season, because sometimes when you have a really good first half, your team just falls off a cliff. But yeah, I'm really hoping that we could get into the playoffs this year again, because this team all of a sudden is turning it around, and morale-wise, I think it's turning it around as well. Yeah, morale's going back up as well. That's perfect. I think I'm already going to give out some contract extensions just to end off this episode, because I do need to get Matthews back. Belanger at least is an RFA. Powell is going to be somewhat expensive as well. Ooh. 1 year at $5 million. I'm going to try and get him down to like 1 year at 4.9. Because I want to get these guys as cheap as possible back. Because a lot of these guys I want to kind of be with us till the end to an extent. So 1 year at 4.9. Let's see if he accepts that. Biggs is going to be an expensive contract as well. But he might end up retiring. Who knows? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to wait on Biggs, I think. Matthews. Yeah, Matthews is not going to come down much. He wants 2 years. We'll give him 2 years. I'll try and talk him down to like $11 million, I think. Or maybe we could get him down to maybe like 10.85. If I could get him as cheap as possible, that'd be great. Savonen's going to want a lot of money all of a sudden, so I'm going to try and give him money while I have the opportunity to. Let's try and give him like 5.7 for 1 more year. And I think those are the only extensions I'm going to give out at this halfway point of the season. And we'll have to find out if they accept those in the next episode. But that's that. I think that's pretty much it. Because I'm not going to look at the draft class. I'm not going to look at the trading block yet. But actually I could look at the trading block right now. just to see if there's anything out there that could help us out even more so. But I don't really think I want to make any trades just because in case this team falls off. But I think we're in a good spot that we could end up, if we keep playing the way we are, make the playoffs. So, which is awesome considering last year was a terrible season. And obviously I want to win a cup as soon as possible. Lacerte is dropping off a lot. Damn, he's going to probably retire this year. There's probably going to be some former players retiring in the off season. That Packer guy's still in RFA. Apparently, Chicago hasn't signed him. Maybe because they have too much cap hit. That's an interesting player to bring in, somebody like that, but we don't really have the space for him. Oh, yeah, I didn't actually take a look. Instead of taking a look at the trading block, where did Jose Stewart sign? Where did Jose Stewart sign? Because we did not actually take a look at that, and I do not know why we didn't. I completely forgot we let go of him. Maybe that's the reason why we were not doing too well as well, is because Jose Stewart was being a bad apple. Even though I really liked the guy, it made sense to let him go. And he signed with nobody. He's still a free agent. And he still wants like 8.75 probably. But that means he'll be a career-long Detroit Red Wings player, but looks like he's still a free agent. Damn. That's surprising. Oh, he's still trying to get $3.5 million, which is not terrible, but I don't really have anywhere I could slot him in. Like, he's listed as a top 4 defenseman, but I am really surprised nobody's picked him up. He's dropped down to a top 6D, so he might end up retiring soon too. But, yeah, that's an expensive contract to give him still. Well, actually, really not really, but I don't really have anywhere I could slot him in. Or else I'd probably just bring him back again. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Detroit Red Wings franchise mode. So in next episode, we will simulate the next half of the season. We might make some trades if we think they're necessary to try and get into a playoff spot. But who knows, maybe they won't be. So let me know what you guys think down below. And I'll see you guys next time.